Right now, people are making one critical mistake in the cryptocurrency market. And in this video, I want to talk about what that critical mistake is and why it is so prevalent in the industry right now. In this video, I want to talk about something that I think is going to get a lot of people into a lot of trouble. And with the biggest transfer of wealth the world has ever seen right around the corner, this is certainly something you're going to want to make sure you steer clear of. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you have any good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, I'll jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So like I said in the intro, I think a lot of people are falling into a trap right now that needs to be avoided at all costs. And we're going to talk about at the end of this video really what to do if you have already fallen into this trap. But this is something you are definitely going to want to be paying attention to. Like I talked about in the intro, right now we're in a position where really there's an entire transformation of wealth happening. And the cryptocurrency sector, I think, is going to be a significant place a lot of that value rolls into. For the first time ever, we are watching an extremely outdated legacy industry be completely disrupted. And that's with new rails coming to the financial industry. This has caused a lot of hype, a lot of speculation, and unfortunately, a lot of froth in this industry. One of the things that's most obvious to me about the cryptocurrency industry is people want to attach a blockchain and a cryptocurrency to every single problem that's ever existed in the world. But I don't think that necessarily makes a lot of sense. If you take a look at the cryptocurrency industry today, we are in the very nascent stages of this technology. I oftentimes compare it to the 1996 to 2002 era of the internet. We just got global regulation. We just got put in a time period where companies were starting to adopt this stuff, but we were yet to see a lot of the killer applications really roll out. Most people were still trying to wrap their head around exactly how this technology was even going to be used. I see a lot of people right now trying to dig really deep into the cryptocurrency sector and pick as many different winners as possible. But if you go down to the 2000 era of the internet, this would have been a huge mistake. Most of the companies in the 2000 era of the internet didn't go on to survive. And that's because there was only a couple main players who were building the real infrastructure with real utility that was going to be long lasting and cause a driving impact on society as a whole. In my opinion, we're in a very similar stage of the cryptocurrency market right now, where you have a couple clear winners in the market and a lot of other projects that have great ideas, but probably won't materialize. A lot of what I see in the cryptocurrency industry is really cool stuff, but it's lacking purpose. There's no reason for the token to be there. Maybe you don't even need a blockchain in general. People are just looking to attack any problem they can possibly find and throw a cryptocurrency and blockchain on top of it. Now, this is a lot of what you saw in the early .com era. It doesn't mean necessarily that these things are fraudulent or they're bad or they can never succeed. It just means that it's really hard to make a lot of these ideas materialize into something that's going to have long-term success. And this is something that is prevalent in this industry right now. Brad Garlinghouse has a famous quote where he says that 99% of tokens are going to go away. And while I don't think these tokens are necessarily going to disappear, I do think 99% of them won't really succeed. They're just way too early in trying to solve the problem that they're looking to attack. And in 5 to 10 years, 15 years, there's going to be a far better solution to solve these problems where you might not even need a blockchain or cryptocurrency at all. Now you're probably thinking, where does this leave something like XRP? Well, XRP, in my opinion, is one of the few digital assets out there that's really positioned to solve a problem that could not be more obvious. When it comes down to the core intended problem that blockchain technology and cryptocurrency looked to solve, XRP's name is written all over it. It's all about moving money. It's all about clearing transactions. It's all about liquidity. These are some of the biggest problems in the traditional financial system that cryptocurrencies solve as their primary use case. The main purpose of a cryptocurrency is to move value from one place to another. It cannot be more obvious than that. Yes, blockchains have a lot of different attributes to them that can be customized to do a whole bunch of cool different things. But through all that, it kind of begs the question of if you need the cryptocurrency there at all. This is where XRP is extremely differentiated from everything else in the market. The XRP ledger is positioned in a unique place where XRP is used as liquidity for the entire network. And the network is constructed in a way where it encourages utility and use of the platform. This gives the digital asset XRP a piece of core utility in the XRP ledger network, making the XRP token critical to the function and the ability for the XRP ledger to function for its full intended use case, pretty much as a decentralized clearinghouse for all the world's value. This is something that most other projects don't have. They have an idea, they're attacking a problem, they're trying to carve out utility for the chain, but it's so abstracted away from what cryptocurrencies are actually meant for, it turns into something that you don't even really necessarily fully understand how it's going to be used into the future. This is a huge part of what we saw in the dot-com bubble. A lot of really cool, niche, interesting ideas, but just throwing the word internet on something and building a website didn't make it a fully viable product. It was simply an idea without solving a very large problem. One of the things that the XRP ledger has that really differentiates itself from this is Ripple. Ripple is working with these corporations, figuring out what they need, figuring out their problem sets, and figuring out how the XRP ledger can be used to address these problems. These are extremely sticky solutions. These are what allow blockchain technology to create that spider web effect that starts intertangling itself with all different financial institutions and tech institutions, networks, and other individuals all over the world. This is how you create a network of value and ultimately an internet of value by intertwining all these different forms of value and solving real world problems, and with a cryptocurrency that actually has a purpose in this network being built. This is something that's extremely powerful and cannot be overstated. When we came out of the internet bubble, you kind of had Google, Amazon, Apple, and a couple other companies that actually had a viable product that was going to be useful and cause a net benefit from society. I think you're going to see a very similar thing in the cryptocurrency asset class. And most of the smaller projects that aren't well capitalized probably aren't going to be the ones to make it. Going to be the largest players out there, the ones with the biggest backing, the ones with the most money, and the ones with the biggest head start. These are going to be the projects that continue to win and win and win into the future. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to plant your flag right now in every single asset you want to purchase, because there's not going to be any new ones that come over the next 10 to 15 years. Many of the most successful projects we see in the cryptocurrency industry probably haven't even been created yet. Just like a lot of those powerful companies we've seen in the internet era didn't come out of the dot-com bubble. They came out later on. It's so important to understand that you should be trying to find the highest quality projects that have the greatest percent of success associated with them. And in my opinion, Ripple's name is written all over that with XRP. I'm not trying to plant 1,000 different flags all over the place, because I know that 99% of those flags likely won't make it through the next 5 to 10 years. Likely, I'm better off picking the most high quality winners, the ones that have a definite chance of success, and taking the profits from that and rolling it into the new players who have seen the industry shake out, have a better concept of what's going to be needed, have a better path to success with advancements in technologies, and a better understanding of what this asset class is going to be used for. Those are the projects that will kind of be the second-hand winners from this boom. It's not to say that some of the early people building now won't have a head start. They absolutely will. But the players that are going to be the best are going to be the most well-capitalized, the ones that have the largest network effect, the most integrations, and have something sticky that is going to change society forever. This is what Ripple and XRP have already set out to achieve and have already made tremendous progress. It's going to be virtually impossible for a lot of people to get ahead of that. They're simply too late to the race. And when it comes down to the application of moving money, you can already see through the tea leaves how far ahead Ripple is. Right now, we're in a position where some of the largest banks in the entire world are literally getting together and trying to block Ripple from getting a banking license. Notice how they're always so focused on blocking Ripple. There's a reason for that. They see it as a threat. They understand the network. They understand the killer application. JP Morgan on this board, Jamie Dimon, who is trying to block Ripple from getting a banking regulation, his company put out a report in the middle of the Ripple SEC case saying that if Ripple won the case, XRP was poised for mass adoption. These people see the writing on the wall, and they understand that this right here is a killer use case. There's a reason why JP Morgan isn't going after all these different gaming tokens and all these other different DAOs and other things that might have some application, but we're not sure yet. They see the writing on the wall with how XRP is going to be so powerful. And they need to do everything in their power to try to slow that down because the disruption is so clear and obvious. They're not going to waste their time blocking something that doesn't matter, but they see it as clear that what Ripple is doing with XRP is a fundamental disruption to the entire financial services industry. They are creating new rails that these banks can just never keep up on. And the second XRP and the XRP ledger gained the network effect and reached that moment of mass adoption where it can't be taken back, all these legacy banks and all their intermediary relationships with moving money the traditional way are going to be completely disintermediated. What Ripple is doing with XRP goes to the core reason cryptocurrencies were created. But not only that, but they actually have the partners and relationships to allow this vision to play out. This is an extremely rare combination of not only technology, but leadership and adoption that can't be found in a lot of other places in the industry. So one of the most important things that I think people need to do is zoom out and understand that the vast majority of things in this asset class are probably not going to succeed. And you need to find the things that have core reasons to exist and the cryptocurrencies that actually need to be there. The sooner you can understand this, the more you can concentrate your position sets into high quality assets that you understand have the highest probability to succeed over the long run. And that doesn't mean you're not ever going to get a chance to find a great new project doing something really cool. Those are going to continue to emerge for the next 10 to 15 years. But trying to plant a million flags now, just go back to the internet and understand that that wasn't the winning strategy. It was picking the most high quality projects that had the highest likelihoods of succeeding because they had clear driven purposes with real partners and real network effects. These are the most important things you should be focusing. And when you zoom in on these core things, you shouldn't be left with a million different projects that you should be focused on. There should be core projects that are set ahead of the rest of the industry and positioned to succeed for the next 10 to 15 years. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. And for now, Mickle out.